Hi everybody, I have an announcement to make. I am very excited to be able to share with you that I have been accepted to do the Brathay 10 marathons in 10 days challenge. That starts on the 12th of May 2022 and finishes on the 22nd of May. I'm absolutely shocked and overwhelmed. I'm very excited that I'm going to be in a team of 25 people who have been carefully selected from applicants from all over the UK, some even from the US have applied. So I'm absolutely over the moon to be given this opportunity to run 10 marathons in 10 days. How bizarre is that? That I'd be excited about it, but yes, I am. This is not something that I took lightly. It's not something where I just saw it and thought, oh yeah, I'll have some of that. I did give it a lot of consideration, and some of the factors were the fact that I've done quite a few runs where I consider them character building runs, whereby they've gone absolutely pear-shaped and I could have quite easily given up, but I didn't. One being the Manchester Marathon, whereby it was my first marathon in 2015, and at mile 9 I suffered with my hamstring went. I dropped my bottle of water and bent down to pick it up, and ping, the hamstring went. And at mile 12 I was going to go and see the St John's ambulance crew. I went over to them and smiled and just carried on. I couldn't bear to give up. And I had a friend who joined me at mile 4. He was on a bike. He was my support, and he can vouch for me that I did not stop running for the whole 26 miles. And because I was in so much pain and I was holding myself up weirdly, my shoulder popped out by mile 19. So for 7 miles I ran with my whole left side was just stiff. By the time I'd finished, my right knee was killing and I was just in sheer agony. And for me that was a character building run, definitely, whereby there was no way in this world I was going to quit. I had another marathon very similar, which was Yorkshire Marathon, and by mile, I think it was 12, I started with cramp. It was that cramp where your toe started curling up and then it shoots up the back of your leg, and before you know it, both my legs, by mile 13, both of my legs were like stiff as balls. I could not move. I was holding on to this railing. People were passing, asking if I was okay. I was like, yeah. And I walked with these stiff legs for about 4 miles. I tried trotting into a run, and every time I changed my style from a run to a jog, the cramp started again. So it was very much a stop-start. And by the time I got to 20 miles, I kept thinking, it's just 10k. And I managed to start a little trot again at about 24 miles, I think it was. So I managed to run about 1.5 miles, just albeit it was a little trot. And then just as I reached the corner to come down to the finish line, the cramp started again. And people in the crowd were like saying, come on, you're nearly there. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I've got cramp, please don't. I must have looked ridiculous as I was coming down to that finish line, but I was in so much pain. And that was another event, that was another race where I thought, there's no way, I'm giving up. I'm here, I've done the training, I'm gonna get to that finish line regardless. I've had other races as well, even training runs. I've had training runs whereby I've woken up and I've had tennis ball elbow. I was full of the flu. I had hardly slept, and my whole body was killing. It was absolutely chucking it down, and I was down for a 20-mile run, and this was a training run. I could have quite easily have done it the day after, but I didn't. It was because I had to do it in my head. I had to go out and do it. It was 20 miles around the beautiful Lady Bower Lake, which is quite undulating, so it's quite up and down. And I don't know whether I've just said, but it was absolutely chucking it down as well, and I was full of the flu, and I did it. But when I'd finished it, I was short by a mile. I must have gone wrong somewhere, or maybe my watch cut off, I don't know, but because it said 19 miles and I was down for a 20 miler, I carried on. My partner Andy was there at the finish for me, and I said, I've got another mile to do, and he was like, no you don't, you can just leave it. No, I've got another mile to do. And bless him, he ran the last mile with me. I was in so much pain on that training run, and because I couldn't move my arm, so again I had trouble with my shoulder. Like I said, I was full of flu. I felt like I was dragging my feet. I walked on the uphills. But at the end of the day, I got the job done. And I considered all these facts when I applied for Brathay 10 in 10. And I thought, if anything, I'm going to get the job done. I'm going to raise this money for charity, for the Brathay Trust, which supports vulnerable children. Because if any time they need support, it's now, considering what's gone on with their education and their social aspects over the last 18 months. I know it applies to everybody, but young children, you know, they don't understand the impact it's had on them. So I'm really excited to be able to do something good and do the Brathay 10 in 10. Training starts in January. In the Lake District. So the marathons is the Windermere Marathon, and apparently it's one of the UK's most challenging marathons. So yeah, but the way I look at it is if I can run 20 miles around Lady Bower Lake with a tennis ball elbow, full of the flu, 3 hours sleep in me, then and do it in the pouring rain, then I'm sure I can get round 10 marathons if I take each day at a time. And I'm really hoping that you guys, my running friends, will support me and join me on this journey. I'm really excited about it. I'm going to share all my ups and downs with you, all my laughs, my cries, anything that works, that doesn't work, I'm going to share. And you know, I'll see you at the finish. So let the Brathay 10 marathons in 10 days commence.